What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Night Swim podcast. The lifeguards are gone. It's time to jump into some real swimming talk. I'm your co-host, Dax, and this is your other co-host, Elvis. Elvis, how you doing today?
Doing good. We're doing good. I'm excited. I'm excited tonight, Dax. Excited.
You swung for the fences on this one, and I think we hit the homer.
You know I don't get excited often.
No, I don't know that. Pause.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm excited because for the first time ever on Night Swim, we're going to have a special guest. And not just any special guest. It's going to be not one, not two, but three ninjas on this podcast tonight.
Three of us. It's a world record, some might say. We're going to go ahead and bring up Mr. Josh Liendo, straight out of Florida. How you doing, Josh?
Good. How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Here, we got something for you real quick. There we go. Got those digital claps up in here. All right. So, swim universe. This is probably the first time you've seen three black people on a swimming podcast. So, hopefully, we continue the dominance of black entertainment tonight with what we're going to talk about. So, obviously, Mr. Liendo, butterfly extraordinaire, sprint freestyle extraordinaire, sprint 50 fly extraordinaire. We're going to let Elvis tee this thing off. We got some questions for you, some non-boring, typical swim questions. I guess if there's something that's out of bounds, say like Oklahoma, that'll be our safe word for tonight. But yeah, Elvis, go ahead and tee us off, man.
Yeah, well, let me let the viewers know that the pre-taping we meet up a little bit and do a quick chat, kind of run down how it's gonna go. And I see Josh pop up with this crispy chain on, and I was like, hold up, is he stunting on us? So I had to go back and get 2 chains and the Nike tag.
I watched the canary yellow diamonds just in there dancing.
Yeah. So, and these I couldn't find the other chain I wanted with the diamonds all around it, but I said, you know what? Let me not make our special guest feel too, out of place. So,
yeah, we're not trying to get out rapped like Jay-Z when Eminem shut him down on Renegade on his own song.
Right.
But our game up tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, Josh, we appreciate you making it on, and we'll try to keep this as streamlined as possible to make sure you make it to your curfew on time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So
scholarship intact as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that.
So I'm gonna ask a semi-typical swim podcast boring question, but it's gonna be leading somewhere spicy. What's it like training at Florida? What's the culture? And because when I was in school, in college, there was always this talk of how tough and high yardage and cutthroat the Florida culture was back when Greg Troy and Anthony Nesty ruled the roost. And now, Nesty's now the big dog in charge. I'm a big Nesty fan, by the way. So, not talking trash about him at all. Big Nesty fan.
Yeah, shout out to the OG Butterflyer.
Yeah, the OG Butterflyer.
OG, yeah.
So, what is that like training at Florida under Nesty, who is the OG Butterflyer?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the big things. It's like he's like the first one, like you said, he's the OG. And I mean, just like forget about all the sets, whatever the yard is, just like as a mentor, having him is really good, right? Because he's seen all of it, right? He's been through all of it himself. And I think there's very few coaches that have actually, gone through it themselves as the athlete. And obviously he's seen a lot as a coach. He kind of knows the best of both worlds, and he's been around for a while. But no, I mean, the culture is great. Like, yeah, we work hard. I mean, it's typical Florida, right? It's like, we're not soft by any means. Like it's gonna be tough on you, but I think it sets you up not just to be a great athlete, but as a person and in life, it sets you up pretty well. But the dynamic of the group is great. I think it's really good. I've seen it even grow since I've been here, and it's I think we're in a really, really good spot, and it's a fun place to be right now.
Do the men and women train together at Florida?
Yes. Yeah.
So what's going on with all this Bella Sims drama? That's what I want to know, because, well, I was reading the swim comments, and somebody commented, we just had a meeting at Florida, and Nesty told us to come and trash her on swim. I don't know if that's how the comment was supposed to be read, but they wrote it in such poor English, poor grammar, that it either said, the way it was interpreted was that Nesty told us to trash this girl online, and I was like, that doesn't sound like something he would do. But just kind of curious as to, you're in it, so what's happening?
Yeah, you're the senior leader. What do you see?
Well, I don't know, because I think this was a meeting like with the girls team. Like, I know when like we had people like transfer in the past, or it's like let's say we get beat at like a dual meet, and it's like last time we got beat at a dual meet, it was like a whole team meeting. I think it was FSU we lost to, and like we were getting like trashed on swim or whatever, and everyone was tweaking out. The coaches had like a meeting, and they're like, chill out. So this meeting was with the girls team. I don't really know what was said or who said what. I probably need to talk to one of the girls on the team to like find out what exactly was said. So I don't know. I don't know if it was something was taken out of context, or some people were like took what was said the wrong way and were like defending it. I'm not really 100% sure. I mean, I stay out of that stuff. I'm not even on Instagram too much. I'm just kind of staying in my own lane. But I mean, yeah, I feel like there's people on the team that like had a great relationship, and maybe there's people on the team that didn't have that good of a relationship with Bella. I'm not really 100% sure in that sense. I had a pretty good relationship with Bella, I would say. But I mean, at some point, some people, decide. I mean, Adam Chaney. I still have a good relationship with Adam Chaney. Some people who decided that they needed something different, and that's fine. So yeah, in that sense, I don't really know what transpired in that meeting, but I've personally, to me, it doesn't seem like something that Nesty would be like. I'd never heard Nesty say, "Go comment on swim." Like that's not a Nesty thing. Like Nesty wants to, people like he gets hate for it, but he doesn't do all this crazy Instagram stuff. Like Nesty's so chill. In my eyes, right? He's not somebody that's going out. He doesn't want like a spotlight on him. That's the last thing that Nesty wants,
right?
Because he's already had that, right? And he's had that his whole life. Like his face is on money in this country. So
yeah,
I don't think he wants any more of that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't give you a better answer in that aspect, but I mean that's as much as I know. Like I said, I guess I'm similar to Nesty in that aspect. I kind of stay out of that stuff.
Yeah, I feel that. I've met Nesty multiple times swimming in the Bahamas. He was the national coach of Suriname, who attended many meets that we went to in the Caribbean, and obviously world championships and all those other meets. He's usually on deck. So even I always thought Nesty is so chill. For those of you who don't know, that when he cusses you out, it's a chill cuss out too. He's like, "You mother effer." You got, so yeah. I found it hard to believe that comment, and I was like, we got to be interpreting this wrong. So yeah, shout out to Nesty. But speaking of
tutorial actually too.
Yeah, but speaking of people who left Florida, probably the biggest one that we've discussed on this show so far has been the late great. Oh, let me not say late, like he died. The great Caleb Dressel. He famously said he was making a change and going back to train with Steve Youngbluth, who was a
Mhm.
coach at Florida, and doing this kind of commuting thing back and forth. Did he leave because he was tired of you whooping him in practice, or was it something else?
No, I mean, I think if you ask anybody, like I've talked to, I've talked to like a Beisel or like Lochte, they would say, or even like somebody like Natalie Hines, they said like um, Steve was like a big part of Caleb. So I think that relationship has always been there. From personally, even from, I've heard from guys on the team before I got there. It's like that relationship with Steve was really, what kind of made Caleb in some sense, people would say. And I think he just kind of went back to that because that was kind of what was working for him, when he was at the top at his best.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm a big believer in the coach-athlete relationship, because I've seen
Mhm.
it. I've seen it firsthand, and I've witnessed it firsthand. Like, any coach can write a great set, or write good practices, but it really. I had a coach in college who I connected best with. He knew how to trick me into doing work because I hated practice and all I wanted to do was sprint. But he knew how to talk to me, how to motivate me, and how to basically trick me into doing work. Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think we just lost him for a little bit.
We'll wait till he comes back. But yeah, I had a coach that would literally trick me into doing work, and he knew how to talk to each athlete according to their ability. So he would talk to me one way, and then he knew, this guy needed to be left alone. And then he knew that this guy needed to be screamed at like a drill sergeant. So it almost looked like he was showing favoritism to like different people. But then at the end of the season, we're all swimming great, despite all these different avenues that he took with each of us. So that's one thing I really believe into the coach athlete relationship.
Yeah, I was kind of on the other side of that spectrum where I wouldn't say I'd say. Well, I think we talked about it how the UT relationship was kind of a little different, where it was like a lot more athlete driven. So I'd say there's probably athletes who gave me technique I probably gravitated more towards. Like David Walter was my guy, and then I'd say probably was Ricky after him, and then Jimmy as far as freestylers. And then David Weber-Dale was always like he wouldn't be anywhere on the radar, and then he'd pop up and be like tied for first, and wouldn't be on the radar. So, but yeah, it's everybody. You can find your own, or they'll help find you and mesh with you and help you get the technique stuff that you need.
Yeah, so I could see how that would work for Dressel, to want to go back to something familiar or someone you felt was a big part of your success. I mean, even if Steve Youngbluth just knew how to talk to the guy and motivate him and just keep him in that swag, like that's huge. There we go. We got
I'm back.
We were talking about you while you were gone, by the way.
But I have a question for you on the Dressel thing too. So when he was there with y'all, obviously, like you said, Florida has a maybe notoriety about being a very tough yardage program.
Yeah.
Do you spend more time doing like actual sprint stuff, or do you feel that like higher yardage influence in what you do?
I would say it's a mix. Like we definitely have times where we're doing a lot of yardage even for a sprinter. One of the biggest things is taper. Like when we taper, it's like we're not doing much like at all. Like not doing
Show up with a floaty.
Yeah, it's like it's a complete flip. But yeah, I feel like it's not like one way or the other. Like we're not always doing a bunch of yardage and we're not always doing a little bit of yardage, but we definitely have times where there's focus and times where there's aerobic work. This kind of just mixed in.
Right. And then kind of going into what you just said about taper, just so you know, Elvis doesn't believe in the taper unicorn, but I do. Um, would you say, or I guess you kind of arrived at Florida when the suit boom was happening, like all these new fast suits and
Mm-hmm.
whatever laser skin you want to call it, but also kind of a shift in the philosophy of lifting weights where they're starting to train swimmers like actual athletes. Um, and me and Elvis have talked about this, like what's the big driver behind like 18.8 being the new 19.4, right? Like, do you think it's better athletes in swimming? Do you think that the weight room training is that much better? Or do you think the suits are having a bigger deal? Do you think it's the coaching? If you had to pick one as like the main thing, because I know it's like interlocked or whatever.
The main thing, yeah, I mean, I'll just say there's better athletes in the water now. It's just like, I think you see a separation of, there's more of a separation of the guys who's from the 50 to, the guys who's from the 1500, whereas, back then it wasn't as much. But yeah, I mean, 110% there's better athletes in the sport. I mean, you have obviously guys like Caleb, who's like the best example, who's probably ahead of his time of like an athlete, going in the pool. Whereas, back then he was probably the only one who was that athletic.
Yeah.
That was swimming, right? He could play multiple sports. Somebody like Jordan, who's crazy athletic, even Guy, like those Tennessee boys, crazy athletic. You kind of see that more. It's still not as much as, other sports, obviously. But yeah, there's just kind of that aspect of, athleticism, explosiveness. It's more important, especially in yards. I mean, I think yards, the reason it's moving forward so much is because people are realizing it's like, it's explosiveness. Like even the 100 free, it's explosiveness yards compared to long course, completely different race. So
right.
Yeah.
I got one more follow up, and then Elvis can hit you with his wave. So when I swam, right, it was like me and Giles joke about this. Shout out to Giles. That it was like the piece of pepper in the glass of milk. And I mean, I haven't been to like a high end NCAA swim meet in a long time, but are you noticing at those higher end meets, are you noticing like kind of a stagnation? Because obviously I think there's a lot more Black people that are swimming at a high level. Are you seeing that number or like the appearance of it continuing to rise, or do you find it's risen kind of with you swimming and now it's kind of capping? Or what are you seeing on the pool deck at these major college meets?
For college, it's definitely going up, definitely rising. I think like just the fact to me, you had me, Jordan, who would like 1-2 pretty much all the freestyles, and obviously you have guys like Julia, and you have guys like Nikolai, and it's just, I mean, there's a lot of us, right? So I think that helped. People saw, oh, this is working. A lot of people are just choosing the route to go to the States. So I mean, there's even young kids who even you guys will probably end up seeing pretty soon, who are coming in.
Yeah, a bunch of Tennessee kids just committed to Tennessee.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even Florida, like we got Marvin, who just came in from the Bahamas. Yeah. And no, I mean, I feel like I definitely wouldn't say it's going down. It's definitely going up. So it's a good thing.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, take care of my boy Marvin. I knew him from an embryo, probably.
Yeah,
we're from the same island.
He's another guy that's like athlete. He's just like, but he's just strong.
Yeah,
like, he's got to learn to hone all that strength. He's just a strong boy.
His mom is the director at the YMCA on our island, and she is a champion of youth athletics. This lady, I mean, she would campaign to raise money to send people to swim meets. She did a lot for me too. Like she would call whenever I come home, she would call the newspaper and be like, "He's here. Y'all need to come and do a story on him because she will go to bat for people. Like his mom, that's a good lady to know. If
All right,
next time
shout
you
out
see
Mama
her.
Johnson.
Yeah, Mama
Shout out
Johnson.
Mama J.
Yeah, shout out to Marvin too. Y'all take good care of my boy. So why? I have some theories, but why do you think there are more Black people getting into swimming, or at least getting into the higher levels of swimming?
I think there was kind of, I mean, I feel like the stigma that we can't swim, first of all, is just, it's gone. Like it's proven that it's just not a thing. And then I think just that kind of wave is, like I said, it's like me, Jordan, it just like brings a wave of kids, right? Kids are gonna want to get into swimming or believing that they can do well, and then it kind of just trickle, and then it's gonna be just a snowball effect, obviously, at that point. So
yeah, have you seen the Black guy on Instagram who discovers like Black people doing white sports?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
you know what's funny? My friend, literally, when I was looking to get the link to get on this podcast, one of my friends sent me. I think he did one on like a Tennessee relay, and then he did one of my 100 fly. So I mean, it's pretty funny. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, that's funny guy.
Yeah, it's very interesting and cool to see that, and because I mean, when I was at Kentucky, we had me, Florida boy named Alex Forbes, Jamaican kid named Ramen. It was like, and then we had Nakia DeVoe, who was the first Bahamian Olympian for women. So it was like barely more than 3 of us at a time on the team, and we had like the most Black people in the SEC on our team. So it's very cool to see now. You got a Tennessee relay of pretty much all Black people. Mm-hmm. And like you said, a couple episodes ago, we talked about how Caleb Dressel was kind of in that class with Joseph Schooling, Ryan Murphy, mm-hmm. where, these are the people who watched Phelps win 8 gold medals and then they decided to swim. So I'm hoping, and I think, and you kind of touched on it, that, in the next 2 to 4 years, we'll see younger Black kids getting into swimming because they watch people like you, Jordan Crooks, and et cetera, so that's exciting to me. And I think it's exciting for the sport because you have new types of athletes, getting into it.
Did Colin have any type of impact on you getting into swimming? I remember the first time I met him, like I said, I didn't know there was a lot of Black people swimming, and he came to this meeting in San Antonio and went like 19-1. And I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know we could go that fast. And that was kind of like a moment for me and my brother. But did he have any type of impact on you as far as swimming goes?
That's a good question.
I would say more more once I kind of got down to the States in like my older career. Because I mean, I didn't know much. Like I wasn't watching like much of swimming. Like obviously I watched Olympics a little bit, but like I was watching more like basketball. Like my mom and dad, huge basketball fans. My dad, huge baseball fan. So I wasn't watching much of swimming at that time where he was, popping off and obviously winning those medals, like 2012, the 50 free, obviously 2016, and just all these relays and stuff. But definitely as I got down to the States and I obviously met him in person and was able to kind of chat to him, talk to him, and just kind of be able to pick his brain a little bit. I would say it was definitely, I learned a lot from him in that sense, getting down here. So yeah, I mean, obviously he's he's won a silver medal at the Olympics. He's won a bunch of golds, obviously a very accomplished athlete. And it was just kind of, he definitely started that snowball kind of effect from then, right? It's kind of been going up and then it kind of dies down a bit. And then, but I feel like now we have some good momentum going.
Yeah, that thing is rolling now.
Yeah, it's rolling.
It's funny you use it as a snowball analogy for Black people.
Yeah.
Chocolate ball.
Chocolate ball, Jesus Christ.
Who would you feel? I haven't seen Jordan Crooks in the water lately. I think he's probably taking some time off.
I just saw him actually.
Yeah, I think
Over
I
the
saw him
summer.
I saw him doing a clinic, but I
He's
didn't.
doing
Yeah.
clinics, yeah.
That's where I saw him. He was doing a
Is he
clinic.
training though?
Yeah.
Is he training?
He's
I
probably,
saw his neck.
the
I was
amount of
like,
clinics he's doing, he's probably still training. He's doing a lot of those.
You'd be surprised, man.
Yeah.
Clinics, but I think he posted on Instagram that he was taking like a mental break or something from swimming, which personally, I was gonna say I don't believe in it, but let me not say I don't believe in it. I think it's good to take a break, but I would cap it at like a month, because I would usually take after World Championships or Olympics, I would take like the rest of that month off, usually like August, and then get back into it. I think if you take more than that, it gets real hard.
You start enjoying that normal people life.
You start enjoying.
I'm not tired all the time. What?
Yeah, insane. Brenda in the Burger King line knew me by first name, so you start to get real comfortable. And rarely do I see athletes come back from a long break. It's a handful, like Anthony Irvin.
Yeah, black don't crack like that though.
Yeah, good point. Good point. So I guess that leads me into a question: like, what biggest competitors in your eyesight? Like who? Like when I used to train with my competitors in mind. I would envision them like in the lane next to me. Like, who's that person for you? Like, who's that competitor?
I mean, honestly, myself, I feel like I've had a lot of competitors, right? But I feel like one of my biggest things, it's like when I focus too much on somebody else, it doesn't go as well for me. Like I know in races where I was kind of looking over at Crooks, kind of my race plan goes out the door, or even I'll say Paris at the Olympics in the 100 fly, when I'm looking over and I'm like, oh, I'm getting caught. It's like race plan goes out the door. It makes you kind of takes your focus away from what you need to do. But I mean, if talking about Crooks, he was probably especially in the NCAA, the biggest competitor, right? Made me have to go back and look at my races, and I was like, okay, what do I need to fix? Or what do I need to make better? Which one of my strengths am I going to need to improve to win? Because it was getting to the point where it was like, okay, it's like if you mess up, forget about it. Like you're not going to win. So yeah, I'll definitely say in college for sure. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You ask anybody, they would probably say the same. It was definitely Crooks, big competitor for me. And I kind of had to push myself and try to improve in different aspects to overcome the challenge of racing him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you two were so neck and neck in a lot of races. It was almost like getting y'all confused in the water. Like, who am I watching? Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, that was a dope answer. Man said myself.
Yeah.
Made me feel stupid.
Do you ever realize or think about it? Like I'm always like, I was in the same boat with basketball, right? Like that's all I pay attention to. I remember I basically told Cal to like screw off because I didn't know they were a good swim team. Like I was that far into basketball. And do you ever realize that you're from like a long line of successful black swimmers at UF?
Yeah, I mean, I've realized it more that I've been at the school. Like, I mean, we have the wall, and even just looking at the wall, we had a guy from Trinidad that was on the team. Obviously, Nesty kind of started it off, right? And I mean, we had the Davis twins. Those guys, those guys were beasts. If you want to see somebody who just can straight swim, just go back and look. I think it's like 2022 NCAAs. Look at Will Davis, like come off the turn, take one kick, and then still go 18-2. Like things like that, people like that. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously there's just so much success here. Obviously can't forget Natalie as well.
The Fraser brothers too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that to think about, right? I'm just, obviously honored to be a part of this program and part of a legacy like that. You ask Julian, he'd say the same thing.
So do you think that there's something about Florida specifically? Because I remember who we were talking to. It may have been Nate, but we were talking about how a lot of Islanders end up at bowls, which is also in Florida. So do you think, and I think a lot of the names that you mentioned are probably Islanders, if I'm, is that, okay.
Yeah,
so
do
you think that, and obviously in your case and Natalie, it's not just an Islander thing, right? So do you think that there's some type of magic fairy dust in the water for Black people in the state of Florida, or what do you think is going on?
Well, for one, the weather, I would say it's like, it's not too different. You don't have to come up to
Superman type stuff. That sun.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's nice. The weather's warm, right? It's kind of similar to the islands, honestly. So I mean, you have that, but I don't know. I mean, I think that's just the history, the way it came out to be.
Word.
Dax, you actually were about to touch on something I had in on one of our dockets for one of our podcasts to talk about. But one of the questions I wanted to ask, well, I guess I asked Josh, was why do we feel like there are more Black people in swimming or becoming better at swimming? And I actually pondered that question myself because I was very curious. And we talked about it before. We mentioned that there are more affluent Black people. So they're now being exposed to sports that normally they couldn't afford. And then there's one thing I thought about that we didn't mention is that there are more Black coaches in the sport as well. And I also think that coaches are learning how to train Black people. I mean, Nesty was obviously ahead of the curve, being a Black man who succeeded, passing on that knowledge and that legacy. So Florida kind of was easily able to churn him out like that.
Got a leg up on everybody.
Right, you had a leg up on everybody. So now I'm also feeling like somebody at Tennessee discovered the secret as well. And I already know in the comments people are going to be like, that's racist. Black people aren't any different than how white people train. I mean,
I think I heard the NBA say that, right? Or something like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, like new sheriff in town, something like that. I don't know.
Even when I talked about the super suits and how I felt like they helped me more than my white competitors, everyone called me crazy and I was a racist. But I think because, from the islands, most of the coaches there are Black. So, we grew up with it. It's
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think there's something to it. It may not, I think it's a part of the puzzle. I don't think it's obviously 100% of the puzzle. Like obviously there's talent, there's access, there's all these other things that go into it. But yeah, I think Nesty got a leg up on everybody because, he came from the same background.
I have a kind of ridiculous question for you.
Yes.
I'll give my answer after you give yours. What's your favorite thing about being Black and in the sport of swimming?
That's a good question. I don't know. I got
right? Yeah.
I gotta take a second for that.
Swim, dog.
Well, he thinks I got an answer for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Let him think.
What's my favorite thing about being Black and in the sport of swimming? I don't know. You got me stumped. I'm gonna think. Do you want to give yours and you can come back to me? I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah, Elvis go. I'll go, and then you can go.
I went to high school in Louisville, Kentucky. So a state that already doesn't have that many Black people. I was swimming. So I swam for Lakeside Seahawks, the greatest team in Kentucky. And I was the only Black person there, a team of like 300 plus probably. So at state championships, I was the only Black person at state championships. I was a freaking raisin in the potato salad. But the thing I like most about it is I was always underestimated by the competition, and they never forgot me after that.
Yeah, that was going to be mine, is the notoriety that comes with it. Like same thing. Like I was the only black kid, and like I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm like Texas legend because like, you know, I'm the only black kid swimming, and it's noticeable like my climb through each level, you know, like barely making state champs, winning state champs, going to zones, winning zones, going to UT, becoming a national champion. So like a lot of people, like even I remember like my beginning of my business, first customer I had was because he remembered me swimming.
Yeah.
So like the notoriety that comes with just sticking out, you know, I guess I'm a little bit of an attention whore, but
same.
Yeah,
clearly,
that's my part is the attention.
Clearly.
Well, yeah, I guess the notoriety, the attention is a big part. I feel like you could also have like kind of like a chip on your shoulder, right? In that sense, where it's like people are kind of, you know, kind of doubting. First, it was like, oh, the only sprinters or they only swim a certain stroke, and it's like now it's kind of, you know, people are proving that wrong. So I guess just that kind of ability to prove things wrong and kind of, you know, eliminate that even being a conversation, just that chip on your shoulder.
Have an impact on somebody.
Yeah. Where it's like, I remember, I'm going to mention Julian again, because I think one of the things he mentioned in his post-race interview in the 100 breast at NCAA's was, he said that Nesty told him, you know, have that chip on your shoulder. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, because that, if you look at that dude from freshman year, he even make NCAA's to winning it his senior year. It's like having that chip on your shoulder. He just kind of showed. He was a good example of what it can do.
I think that's another one that's good, is that because like just being black, you know, there's like things that we can say to each other, and it's like we all know, even though nobody else knows. So like when he said that thing, I was like, oh, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I knew it too. Well, there in Canada, what's the diversity in swimming look like there? Were you the raisin in the potato salad over there, or is there more of a diversity?
No, I would say there's more, because funny you mentioned that. So my club team, Nyack, North York, not New York, but it's we almost had a full black relay, like almost kind of.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, like we had. I mean, that boys on that club. We had me, we had another guy, Justin. We had Sam. Ethan, like we had a good bit of people, especially maybe I was just lucky in my sense, but I feel like the sport there is maybe now it's a bit different. I feel like Canada as a whole though is like a more diverse country. But no, I feel like it's definitely I was chilling up there. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, how's the treatment from Swim Canada? Because we see, and I think about this because Shane Ryan from Ireland, when he joined the Enhanced Games, Ireland put out a statement that was like condemning him and all of this, and I was like, why are y'all even talking? And he's like,
yeah, this is your greatest swimmer ever. Like,
yeah,
chill.
And what did you even give him? Like a measly what, 10 grand in his over career? Like, yeah. So how's Swim Canada? What are they like?
I mean, it's hard when you try and compare it to like a.
If you need to Oklahoma this, we understand.
No. I mean, it's like obviously if you compare it to like the U.S., like obviously you compare any country to somewhere like the U.S. where sports is such a big thing. It's not going to be the same, right? Like the market for sports here is like insane compared to other countries.
Yeah.
Or like a country that's super small, right? I remember when I was living in Trinidad, I forget his name, but the guy that did the javelin, like has like a mansion and a street named after him, like stuff like that. So either a really small country or like a country like this where the market's just so big. Obviously, there's going to be some differences, but no, they've been good. I feel like I've been supported pretty well. considering. But also this also goes back to the point of obviously swimming, where the market is obviously. I just think they could do a better job in the market of swimming, like as a whole, as a sport community. But no, yeah.
You mentioned you lived in Trinidad. Did I miss that?
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I was like, oh,
yeah. You guys not know that?
No.
I feel like there was a time in your career where I thought you were Trini. Like I thought you were from Trinidad, and then I saw you were from Canada. I was like, oh, why did I think?
Well,
that?
I mean, he's black. I was like, there's no way this guy's all Canadian.
Right. So
no. So I was okay. So my mom is from St. Vincent.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And my dad is from Venezuela. They kind of met in Trinidad. Lived in Trinidad for a bit. My mom had me in Canada though. Like I was born in Canada.
Gotcha.
Then when I was like from like 2 until I was 10, I was living in Trinidad. So I like started swimming there, kind of grew up there. I think me and Nikolai had the same coach, like Coach McLeod.
Coach McLeod.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. Back in, I was funny because he told me that I was like, what? But yeah, back in Trinidad. So I started swimming there, and that's where I learned to swim. And obviously came back to Canada. I've been there since.
Well, then if you grew up in Trinidad, then you know the gentleman who was messaging me today saying that he loves the podcast, the great legend George Bovell.
Oh no! Yeah, I mean that's a legend. Yeah,
it's a legend. Yeah, he was messaging us today. He's
white chocolate.
Yeah, he's a fan of that. I told him we got to have him on the show. He was like, I don't think I'm too old. I can't add any value, but I'm gonna share your stuff.
Of course, he can add some value,
right?
That guy's like a legend. Plus, these youngsters need to know.
Yeah.
I remember I was coaching on a team.
In Trinidad, he's a huge legend.
They don't know anybody.
Yeah, he's huge. I think he's got a pool named after him in Trinidad. The George.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, but George was an interesting person. It was 2013 Barcelona World Championships. I was talking to him, and for those of you who don't know George, this dude is like a gentle giant, huge, ripped, shredded, and just the nicest guy. And I was talking to him, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, how you doing? Like, you gonna go to the pool and like see what it's like?" He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do my warm up today, and I'm gonna walk down to the beach and just feel the waves coming down my body, and just let the negativity just wash away."
Definitely,
and that was that dude's warm up for the day, and he won the bronze medal in the 50. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, "Yeah, I just go to the beach and let the negativity wash away in the waves." I was like, "What? What am I doing?"
Yeah. So everybody who's listening, if you're looking for the sprint secrets, it's random shit like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like I remember there'd be times Jimmy would be like, he'd skip half warm-ups and we find him in the deep end blowing bubble rings for like 30 minutes. So
I feel like every sprinter has a story like that.
Yeah, every sprinter definitely has a story like that. But I also remember it was a Commonwealth Games. George was about to swim, and he came up to me, and we were talking, and then I can't remember how we got on it, but he was saying, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this strategy in my race. What do you think? What do you think I should do?" And I was like, "Me? What? You asking me for advice?" It's like, yeah, George was, yeah, I love George. He's awesome. I don't know where. Oh yeah, because you grew up in Trinidad. Yeah. So why? Have you ever thought about swimming for St. Vincent or for Venezuela or Trinidad? Really swim.
Yeah, like a little bit.
Money too good.
I think like, pardon?
Money too good in Canada?
No, I mean I don't know. I guess I've never really explored it like thoroughly. But we had 2 guys from Venezuela on the team, and their dad actually swam the Mestre brothers.
Oh yeah, Alberto Mestre. He came to the Bahamas to qualify for the Olympics. He dropped a 21 in my home pool. I was like, damn, disrespectful, but
yeah, and he made it.
Yeah.
but no, I remember their dad was talking to my dad, and he's like, "Dude, you messed up. Like, we could have had a relay." But no, it's not something that I've, explored. I feel like I've been doing well in Canada, and obviously Canada we have a good team. It's been going well for Canada, so I haven't really explored that or even looked at those opportunities.
And y'all are about like one swimmer short of having some serious relay action, right?
Yeah. Because we have some good Canadian boys on the team right now who I think, if they put it together, they're gonna be good. Like on the Gators, I mean, they're doing really well. But no, I mean, obviously you have me, Ilya, that fly free, good combo. It's just like kind of putting those other pieces together to be really, really competitive. And obviously freestyle we've always been so close. We've always been right there.
Right.
We just kind of need that extra just push.
It's a nasty combo right there.
Yeah.
But speaking of nasty combos and wild questions, let's say after LA 2028, what are you doing? You're looking at the enhanced games because looking at some of that buku box.
Nah, I mean, I think I'm gonna just like get a job.
Oklahoma, dog.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, no, I don't really see the enhanced. I mean, this is my personal opinion on the enhanced games. Like, I wouldn't do it. I feel like I would focus more on like, in terms of the sport, I feel like I would focus more on something like accessibility, because just knowing from where I come from and kind of, that kind of stuff. I feel like that's kind of moving away from that. Something like the enhanced games. Obviously, it's entertainment, and they kind of know how to do entertainment pretty well. But no, I don't see something as just for me. Like, it's not something that I believe in, and obviously, I don't think they're giving out all the information on what it's even about. It's kind of just a spectacle.
Have they reached out to you?
No.
Mm-hmm. Dang, Elvis, you're trying to just burn this guy's career to the ground.
It's just a question.
I mean, no, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's something that I'm not. I don't want to be affiliated with. I would say personally, just honestly, just being from where I come from, I feel like money could be spent in better places. I feel like sport is supposed to be accessible to everyone, supposed to be inclusive. I feel like that's kind of going the other direction personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the kind of vibe. It's like, let's see somebody go as fast as possible. But I also feel like that could end up to a point where, it's like, what's the best drug, or, if there's no rules, I feel like it could get out of hand. But then again, I don't know a ton about it. Like, I haven't really done my research on it. That's just kind of my initial view on hearing about it, I would say.
Yeah, but personally, I think you got another lap in you after 20.
God damn, Elvis, you just keep going.
No. I think he has another Olympics in him after 2028.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would definitely be a possibility. But I would say focus right now, get to 28, stay healthy. If the body's still healthy, if I'm still going, feeling good about it, of course, I'm not going to rule it out.
Okay, I got a question. So you were at that Chicago basketball day, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you watch like move like laterally and be like, I cannot? This is the worst athlete I've ever seen. Who took that title home?
I'm gonna have to throw him under the bus. Should I throw somebody under the bus?
Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun and games right now.
Honestly, I think I did it to World Aquatics Media. So, I'm sorry, Hubert, but it's Hubert.
Just fall to left feet.
I was like, dude, yeah, no, he's not a baller, that's for sure.
Was there anybody that was a surprise where you're like, oh, dang, I did not think that was going to happen?
I would say the girls were actually pretty good. Like
Really?
in general, yeah. Like you had Molly. Molly was pretty good. Reagan was pretty good.
Huh.
Yeah, no, like it was. I feel like the girls were. I was like, okay, they know what they're doing.
I can't play ball at all. Even in school, I would always get picked first because I was the only black guy, so they thought I could play. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the Dennis Rodman on the team. I could rebound, I could save, I could steal, anything but shoot. So I was like, I'll play my part. Give me be Dennis
man, rebounding's big, dude. Rebounding's big. Just look at the Gator basketball team right now, dude.
Yeah, but when they picked me, they were expecting Michael Jordan, and I was like, best I can do is Ben Wallace.
The best. All right. So before we started this, we, behind the scenes, we had to talk about being in the weight room and being too big or too small, or when it's time to kind of start managing those things, especially for long course swimming. So let's talk about you first, right? Do you see that you still have that room for growth before you need to start worrying about what you're doing too much in the weight room, or you think you're there? Are you coming down? Are you changing up how you lift? What's going on with you in the weight room?
I would say I've changed up how I lift a bit. Like I'm with Tracy, so we work with here in the weight room. I've kind of been incorporating some different things, but there's definitely still room for growth for me. And it's like even growth that I've seen much recently. It's just, and I think for me, the biggest thing was I can kind of hone my strengths, but really working on my weaknesses, I feel like was what really helped me. Just like areas where I'm weak in the weight room. It doesn't have to be, big power lifts, just like kind of small little things that I need to kind of tweak that make me better in the water.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think personally, for me discovering just like certain things, like if I need strength in certain areas, let's say like, for example, like getting stronger in the arms compared to, I mean, like I already have strong legs. I think there's a lot of room for growth for me. So it's like, I'm not worried about kind of overdoing it in those aspects.
Right. I know Elvis had a comment he wanted to make about being a boulder in the water.
Yeah, because I always swam best when I was strongest. But there did come a point where there was a summer when I was trying to qualify for 2016, and me and my team around me at the time, we decided, let's just see how big and strong we can make this guy. So I basically disregarded my diet. They're like, just eat like a normal human. I was like, I'm going to get like my genetics. I'm going to get huge. They're like, yeah, well, we've never seen you swim huge. So let's see what happens. So my strength coach basically wrote me a program that was similar to as if I was trying to qualify for the Olympics and Olympic weightlifting. So
Jesus.
Yeah. So I swear, I went to the gym and every day I thought I was going to die. It was just so heavy. I was snatching like 265 repetitively. Just crazy.
For reps?
Repping 265 on snatch.
That's crazy.
Repping 315 on power clean. Dude, I was doing some crazy. It got to the point where I was like, I felt like I was hallucinating because I remember someone asked me, they're like, yo, are you lifting heavy today? And I couldn't comprehend what it meant because I was like, everything is heavy. There's nothing like, I don't know what not heavy is anymore because everything I do is just demolishing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're repping 315 on a clean, that's
dude, it was crazy. Yeah, I know a squat. I think I got my squat to like 405. I just crossed 400 in squat.
There you go.
So I was
you got all the 4 plates on.
Yeah, I was a monster.
Jeez.
And in the water, I was like, I swam okay.
Were you worse than you were before?
I wouldn't say worse, but I wasn't So what I discovered was, I'm just going to use arbitrary numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like from, let's say, squatting 200 pounds and then me squatting 300 pounds was a noticeable difference in the water. But the amount of effort it took me to go from 300 to 400 wasn't that noticeable in the water. So it just showed me that there came a point of like diminishing returns of how strong I was. It wasn't translating fully. So what I said is, okay, I'm the strongest I've ever been, but it's now not correlating. So now let's flip the focus. Let's focus more on getting me fast in the water while maintaining what I've already gained. So even if I lose a little bit, whatever, but we're going to focus on front end speed now in the water. And that was the click for me. So then I learned, okay, I need to spend like half the year just getting myself strong as hell, and then the other half getting fast as hell. And it's kind of like, you ever heard that stat where it's like to get a car to go to like 60 miles an hour, it's like 200 horsepower, but to get it
like energy, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you need double the amount of horsepower to go like that from 100 miles an hour to like 110. That was me. I needed like double the amount of horsepower to go not that much. So I figured, let me focus on something else now that I've gotten to that top speed level. So, I mean, you two were kind of talking about Dressel, who you said he kind of felt like he was in a similar position there. So, Dax, I'll let you go. I kind of came in at the end of that conversation.
No, I just think because this actually kind of goes even to what we were talking about with the UT swimmers, how we're always a little chubby. And like I would always notice that, like, especially the Cal guys, like they were always just cut up. But then, you know, at least back then when I was swimming, you know, we're running them down points wise in the last 2 days of the meet. And it's just something I always realized, like everybody at this meet is like chiseled except for us. Like we all have little muffin tops coming out of our suits, and we're the only ones here like that. Like what's going on? But I think I always remember that, and Eddie being like, you can definitely get too big. Eddie was super, super cautious around like traps and shoulders. He wouldn't let anybody do any lifts over their head. So yeah, it just, you know, when I realize I see a swimmer, especially like up here, who looks real big, it's always like a huge red flag for me. Shout out to Eddie.
But I mean, Josh is freaking swole. Are you seeing this dude?
Yeah, I mean the funny thing was, I thought my coach before I came to Florida, Ben Titley, I was in the high performance center up in Toronto. He didn't like any lifts over the head either. But one of the big things I noticed, I came to Florida and they're doing snatch, they're doing push press, we're doing, you know, like incline bench. I was terrible at that stuff. Like really, like even from my strength and my size, I was terrible. So like I said, like that was something I've been working on, like upper body kind of strength and efficiency. And having worked on those, I like noticed just the gap that I had in the water, just because I wasn't focusing on those things in the pool. But it makes sense. Like people get scared about like injuries and like being too big, and then like range of motion. Like obviously if you're too big up top, getting into streamline's harder. You're not, you know, can't move as smoothly. So that part makes sense. But then I feel like I kind of really noticed that, okay, like working on this stuff actually is really impactful and it helps. So yeah.
I feel you. I definitely snuck some overhead lifts. Like, don't get it twisted. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed a difference too, especially my streamlines. I remember Eddie used to be on me by having like space between my head, and then one day he just stopped talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's those overhead lifts, dog. You don't know it yet." But so I'm gonna guess we probably have you for about an hour, right?
I think maybe a little less than that. Yeah.
Okay.
What time you got practice in the morning?
Tomorrow 6.
Ugh.
Yeah. Then we got,
since we
then
started,
we got Gator time. So Gator time's 15 minutes before.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was about to say, so that means you got to be up at 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't miss that shit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We can start wrapping it up soon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit you with I got about 4 questions. We're gonna try to switch it up, give some swim, not swim game, but some game to the youth and the ladies, I suppose.
Right.
From Josh Liendo. So
Yeah.
my first one is, for Josh, you got a lady you're hanging out with, what's the go-to rom-com?
Dude, I have no idea. I don't even know.
You gotta go to
he's getting the questions where it's like I don't even know what to say.
So you don't have like a Netflix and chill go-to?
Mm-mm. I feel like you gotta like
Jesus.
You gotta like know the vibe and like kind of, because I feel like you gotta know the vibe.
Okay.
Depending on what. Yeah, it can't just be like a certain movie, because everyone likes different movies. So it's like you gotta know the vibe on like what you want to watch. So I don't have like a movie where it's
one
like,
time
okay, this is
she
what we're
wanted
gonna
to
watch.
do Evil Dead. I was like, what's wrong with this girl?
Yeah, they see this like that. So you want to watch like a comedy and somebody wants to watch a scary movie. It's like you gotta feel that out.
You gotta play something that if you weren't watching, you wouldn't care.
Right. Yeah. But then it's different when you both see the same horror movie, and then in the background you hear like demons, and it's like, okay, nope. We gotta cut this off.
I mean, that's 101 though. You can't do horror movies, and you actually can't do comedy, because then you'll be laughing mid-stroke or something crazy like that.
You're getting too overt, Elvis. You gotta
Oklahoma that one.
I meant butterfly stroke, bro. You can't be laughing in practice.
Much better. Okay, so what's your go-to muscle that you emphasize for the ladies? Like for me, my shoulders, the deltoids, and then they always like the butt, but just being black helps with that. But what's your go-to muscle for the ladies?
Pause. That's a wild question.
I don't know. I would say probably like abs.
Abs.
I feel like I got good abs or chest.
Okay. Like I said, we putting on some game for the youth. These kids out there requesting JOI, whatever, from an athlete. Oh my, you don't know about this. We got a question for that, and I liked it, and I went back and read it, and I was like, nah, I gotta snatch this like back.
Yeah, I had to go look it up. I felt so onk status. It was JOI. I was like, what is this? Joya? What? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Y'all look it up. I'm not gonna say it.
What was it? Is someone like message you saying?
No, they comment.
Yeah. They said they wanted like some swimmer JOI.
Don't even go there.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma.
All right. Elvis, what's yours?
What's my what?
Your go-to muscle.
This is gonna sound weird, but I actually have weirdly soft skin. So
boy said the epidermis. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, moisturized and unbothered. Like, so if I'll be walking, if someone like accidentally brushed up on me, they'll do like a double take, and they'll be like, okay, like, you know what I mean? So that was always my thing, but it's probably just an excuse to touch my arms.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. And last one. Obviously, like you said, you got to feel the vibe. Do you have like a favorite line when the vibe is right that is going to work? Like me, I can guess people's height. And I always say, like, if I can see their bald spot, I can guess their height. And I always hit. So, or not always hit, but I always nail the height. And the girls, they hit you with that, oh my God, I'm so attracted to you. I can't believe you said that balding face, and it's like, God. Do you have a line or a trick or a party trick or whatever that is your go-to?
A line? No, I mean, I feel like I honestly, dude, I just wing it. Like you'll know this about me. It's like I'm just kind of go with the flow. Like I don't really stress anything. I don't have like a ritual. I don't have
He lying.
like a go-to.
He's lying. He'd be like, "You ever seen an Olympic medal, baby?" That's what come back to the crib. I'll show you. I'll show you a couple medals.
No, I mean, no. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, then if you never use it, you got to start using it now. How could you not use that one?
Olympic medal? I feel like that's just kind of weird. No, you go to someone and you're just, I got an Olympic medal. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of just like,
no.
Like, how do you fit that in? You know what I mean?
That's why people win Olympic medals.
Yeah, but then you just come off like kind of, I don't know. Like that's just
you gotta have your boys do.
I won't just, huh?
That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a friend, and he would always be like, "Yo, this guy's a 4-time national champion." And in the beginning, I was like, "Yo, stop saying that." But then,
my boys would do it. My boys would do it. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll set you right, especially because you're black too. I think that's the thing that really got them, because it's like he's a 4-time champion swimmer. It's like he's black.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So anyway.
I gotta see for myself.
But yeah, Elvis, you got one?
I got one final.
I guess other than the medal.
No, I have the Olympic rings tattooed right here on my arm, and that was, with the pretty much every shirt I wear, you can kind of see it peeking out. So it was always a conversation starter on its own. Or one of my boys would come over and be like, "Hey, look at this," and then it's a wrap.
And the game was on.
Game over.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us, guys.
All right.
We have the great Josh Liendo. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
And, we got 3 Negroes hanging out at the pool after the lifeguards are gone. Definitely going to end up in the clinker, so we're going to get up out of here. Elvis, you have any last words for the people?
Yeah, man. Holler at your boy Jordan Crooks. Tell him we got to bring him on next. We got to keep it going. And for those of you who are hating already, no, we don't just interview black people. We interview anybody. We interview anyone with the balls to come on this show. That's who we interview.
Yeah, we just had to we went yard this time, and we had to start off with a world record 3 black people on a swimming podcast. So that's why. Mr. Josh, do you have any words for the people?
Just thanks for having me on here. It was fun. Hopefully I don't get clipped too bad from this. So
yeah, don't worry. We'll run interference if it happens.
Yeah.
We've been known to get a little jiggy in the comments.
So I think it was an episode or 2 ago. I threw out a little bounty. I threw out a little offer. I said, if Josh Liendo does a touchdown dance after he wins a race and shouts out Night Swim Podcast
at NCAAs,
I'm going to run him $1,000 for each one. That's $2,000. What is Josh Liendo going to do at NCAAs?
I don't know. I mean, well, first I gotta win. I'm not doing a touchdown dance if I don't win. I don't know. I feel like you can't it's hard to plan like a celebration. You know what I mean? I feel like the college atmosphere is the best to do one, but sometimes like something happens and it's like goes out the window. Like we've done this before. I remember McDuff, he was like practicing a celly because he was always anchoring. But then it's like a close race and you out touch somebody, out the window, it's gone. You whatever, go crazy and then do whatever. No, I don't know. What have we done before? We've done, I know at Florida they used to do row the boat at SECs. You win the last relay, everyone gets in a line, and you row the boat. The last guy on the lane line.
That's crazy. I like that.
Yeah.
I got an idea. You ever seen Chad Johnson do the golf one with the pylon on the football?
What would you do that with though?
So you finish your race, you mount the lane line, and then just
hit like a baseball, like a
baseball or golf swing, whatever it is, and then just like stare out into the crowd or at the scoreboard.
I like that one.
Okay.
Is that worth $1,000 of my money though?
I mean, he could do it in front of the after talk thing too.
I'm not trying to get DQ'd. He's trying to get me DQ'd.
They're not gonna DQ you.
Hey man, depends on what I do.
If they DQ you, it proves my point that they just want to kill swimming.
So you're going to sacrifice Josh to the altar of your point?
Somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb to save the sport.
Just black people, black on black crime right here.
Josh, I got $1,000 for you if you do a sick celly, and I got another $1,000 if you shout out Night Swim Podcast and the post race interview.
Okay, I could definitely do a celly. Senior year, why not? But I'm gonna have to start thinking.
It's got to be a good one though. I don't want nothing safe. I want a backflip off the starting block.
That might be a DQ because somebody told me. I've talked about this. I forget. It was either like, I wonder if it was Jack. It was with a coach or someone on the team, but they're like, yeah, that might be a DQ, like backflipping because like getting out and then getting back into the pool.
I think Dax knows the rule. It's as long as everybody has touched the wall and finished, you can cannonball.
Yeah. So like when I was in school, NC State
looked at this.
NC State beat UVA for the first time in the 800 free relay, and they cannonballed in the water like some idiots. But everybody was still swimming, so they're like super hyped. It's like the beginning of NC State's rise, and then the officials come over and say, "Hey, y'all are DQ'd. Like they're still swimming. You can't jump back in while they're still swimming." And I remember just like everybody was just like, "So
is this just a college thing? Because I think like if you do it at Worlds, like you can't do it at Worlds.
Why not? You definitely do it at Worlds. Got to.
I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things where they don't find a rule.
Yeah.
Well, we are so happy that you're willing to try it and find out for everybody.
I'm just gonna. Hey man, if I gotta be careful, I need to make sure I don't get myself in trouble, DQ'd or something.
Do we
need the rules? Figure it out, and Elvis has got some.
I mean, if he checked the rules and it's all good, then the pressure's on me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean. And I'm gonna. Hey, if you don't want it, I'm gonna put the bounty out to any swimmer who does it. But I came for you. I'm trying to support you, my man.
All right. I mean, I'll see what I can do. My biggest challenge though will definitely be remembering, especially if it's a good swim. I'm gonna be real because sometimes you like. I mean, you guys know you have like a crazy swim, and then you look back and it's just like, it's out the window. It's just whatever. Slap the water, celly. You gotta takes you a second.
Yeah.
If you forget the celly and then just shout out Night Swim Podcast in the post race interview, I think I could come up with something. Probably won't be a thou wow, but it'll be something.
Yeah. I mean, no, I can. I mean,
I'll cash app you.
It's a celebration, dude. I mean, it's fun. it's something that's fun to do.
Yeah, I'm basically offering money to a bunch of swimmers to do cellies because I want to change. I want to change the sport.
I'm gonna help my boys out here. What about if it's a relay celebration? Like, what if it's like? What happens then?
I can live with that. Like the Ginyu Ford salute.
If we do a relay celly and a Night Swim Podcast shout out, it's got to be double or nothing. $1,000 for everybody.
It's a relay.
My pockets ain't that deep.
You know the boys are gonna lock in now. But hey, first I'm gonna say this again. First, we gotta win. It's not gonna be like we gotta lock in first. So
you gotta lock in.
That's number one. But maybe that'll get the boys hyped.
I also feel like I also feel like the boys gotta have Sharpie night swim podcasts on the chest.
She's gonna keep up in the ante, huh?
Yeah, we just gotta up it up.
All right.
We'll see. I'll talk to them. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking it's like I'm trying to think. Sometimes they have the camera like behind you at the like when you're at the wall. Like there's obviously the camera at the far end of the pool, but there's a camera behind you. But I know that they kind of stopped showing that because I think that one year we were like cussing too much, so they like just showed the camera. So, like, I think that year at ASU they had that camera like pan on. I think it was like McGuire and all of us, and it's just F bombs because I mean,
yeah. I'm sure if you all get out and start assembling to do a celly, the closest camera is gonna pan in on you all. You ain't got to worry about that.
Okay. No, I like that. You know, like the football when they do an interception and all the defenders kind of go.
Yeah,
Go to the end zone camera. I feel like something like that would be sweet.
That'll be worth my money.
All right.
All right,
Hey, Josh Liendo sharing the love. Look at that. What a great guy.
What a team.
Hey, I gotta think about my boys too.
Hey, all right. Yeah. Let's do it then.
Ultimate guys guy over here.
Yeah. So that's my question. I guess we already did an outro, so we ain't got to do that.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna end it then. But anyway, lifeguards are coming back, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you hit the noti bell. I've discovered this word, not notification bell. Hit the noti bell so that way you're notified whenever we drop a video. We drop a video every day. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so we can get pushed in the algorithm. Show the swimming world that it is okay to have real conversations and be yourself. And you don't have to be this cookie cutter version of what you think everybody needs to hear. So once again, peace. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Good night from Night Swim.